Morning guys, Dave Canterbury with the Pathfinder School. What I thought we'd do this morning is just take a few minutes to show you how to do a diagonal finger weave to make a short strap with. It's a very simple process that you can do if you don't have time to build some type of loom for weaving. You can finger weave, as long as you're not trying to do something that's extremely long or extremely wide. That becomes a lot more difficult to finger weave, but something like this is very simple. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Stay with me and we'll get started. Okay, so let's talk real quick about finger weaving. And finger weaving, this is diagonal finger weaving. A very easy way to make straps and things like that. It gets more of a pain the longer strands you're using. It's better to weave on a loom if you're going to use very long strands, but if you're making something like a short strap or leg ties or something like that, this method will work very well for you. Basically all I've done here is I've taken a stick and I've put in lark's heads in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strands doubled over, which has given me 10 strands to this point. I have 2 nails right here that are just holding that piece of wood so that I can pull tension on it. And then I have a winding stick here so that I can actually wind this up this direction like this and pull against it, and it won't come unwound as I get further into the weave. And it's really just an over-under type weave, just like anything else, and you look at everything and see where you're at, and you can tell pretty much what strand comes next in the weave by looking at what the most outside strand is, which is here. We've got the last strand hanging over the top of this nail here. So the way you would do this is you'd look to see where your last strand was here, and it was over, so we're going to go under, excuse me. And then on this one we're going to look for our next strand, which is here, over. Our next strand is here on the underside. We're going to go under that strand, and our next strand is here on the top side. It's very similar to any other weaving where you've got a bottom and a top, and basically all you're doing is adding wefts into the warp. Just like this, and then your last string that you pulled up the last time goes either over or under, and then you pull it up tight like this. Pull everything down and snug it up to snug that weft in there, and then I usually just lay that other one off to the side, that very last string. I'll lay it off to the side. Now as you're doing this, you'll be able to see, if you spread these out, you'll be able to see what goes where. This one's, the outside one's always going to wrap around. That's going to give you that tight weft in there. And then you can pretty much see by spreading these things out where that string goes next, because it's just an over-under pattern. It's really, really simple. You just spread them out. You got big fingers, it's a little bit more of a pain than it is if you got small fingers. But you can see where everything goes because it's just following the last line, kind of like a loop, just like this, and you can see that just looped around. And then I like to pull this up tight, and then drop this one over and let this one up. And then I'm ready for my next weft to go through. So if you look at this close, you can see, spread these out a little bit, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But it's really easy to figure out which is your most outside string, and then you just start weaving, and make sure you stay at every other string and look above you here so you can see which string should come next. You know this one's the next one in the line. And then this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. And what I usually do is I'll pull this one up tight, I'll pull this one up tight, I'll drop this one over the top and pull this one up above, just like that, to get my pattern. Okay, so when we get down as far as we want to go on this project, and we've got it wound up here on our sticks, remember we had 10 strings here. So generally I'll take this one and I'll put a clove hitch in it, just like this. And that is my last wefting string. And I'll clove hitch that off just like that, tight. That's going to leave me 9 strings down here, and I can braid them in 3s and then whip it at the end, just like I did on the other projects. And I'll just cut that off pretty close. All right, guys, well, I appreciate you joining me out here today for this quick video in our weaving series on finger weaving. And I did a little bit of finger weaving in the Diary of the Teepee, but I wanted to make sure that we added it to this series so that we could later put it out on DVD. I appreciate everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business. I thank you for everything you do for our sponsors, affiliates, instructors, and friends. I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.